Hi everyone, Mrs. Middleton here for today's background exploration of your AP Environmental course. So far in this course, we have gone over what an ecosystem is and how primary productivity relates to the trophic levels. Today we will go into more depth with primary productivity and how it relates to the trophic levels. You probably have touched on these concepts in your biology class, but a review of the information never hurt anyone and might be helpful for those students who haven't taken a biology course at this time in the year. Just as a recap, here is an image of the different trophic levels. At the base of the triangle, you always have the producers using sunlight to create energy and biomass, and that energy and biomass is consumed by the level above it, moving from the primary consumers to the secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and so on until it reaches the apex consumer. And as a reminder, the decomposers are kind of the essential weirdos in all of this. They don't really fit into the trophic pattern here, but they are necessary when taking nutrients from these dead animals and getting it back to the producers so that the cycling of geochemical nutrients continues. All that the 10% rule is saying is that the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next moving upward is 10%. So if the producers are creating 100% of the energy in this ecosystem, a little grasshopper eating that grass will only get 10% of the energy from the grass. A toad that eats the grasshopper will only receive 1% of the original amount of energy created by the grass. A snake that eats that toad will receive 0.1% of the original amount of energy, and a falcon or predatory bird that eats the snake will only receive 1/100th of the energy that the grass originally made. Now you might be wondering, where does the rest of the energy go? Technically, 90% of the energy doesn't make it to the next level in our trophic level. That is outlandish. And this is where you have to go back and think of our laws of thermodynamics. There are two laws, and I want you to take a second, pause the video, and look up the two laws of thermodynamics, because I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you better believe your teacher is going to ask about it or put it in a lab or on a test. So go ahead and pause the video now and look that up. Okay, hopefully you looked it up and you have an idea where I'm going with this. Just like a machine or any system moving energy from one device to another, energy is lost as a lesser type, as heat. Each time energy is created and then passed on, 90% of it is lost as heat. You can think about how, as a human, you consume food and take in energy, but even when you are doing nothing, say you are sleeping, you are giving off heat. You are losing some of that energy you have taken in because your body uses it up and gives it off as heat instead. All organisms do the same thing. So a question you might need to think about in this course is, let's say you are a leader of a nation that is developing. Which of the trophic levels might you need to feed to your people to ensure that they are getting as much energy as possible? Or another way to word this question, if you had a field in your developing nation, would you have them plant corn or would you have them raise beef? Anyway, that is how energy flows through the trophic levels and the 10% rule. I hope this was helpful, but remember, if you have questions, you can write them down and bring them to class, or you can email them to your teacher. Either way, have a great one.